Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my Out of the Park Baseball 22 series with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And before I get too far into things, I just want to say thank you to everyone. During the time since I uploaded the last video of the series, the channel reached 200 subscribers, which is pretty cool. It's actually been really steadily growing since the beginning of the series. Of course, the new OOTP game came out, and I've been posting this series, and it's been pretty good. Been pretty satisfied with it. Haven't been able to post too much, of course, but definitely going to be continuing that. But once again, just thank you for subscribing. I'm definitely going to be getting into a lot more baseball content as we go. I plan to do a MLB The Show 21 franchise series, so if you enjoy this series or any of my past OOTP series, you would also most likely enjoy that. In fact, I'm not quite sure what team I'm going to choose for that, so if you are interested in watching that series, definitely comment, let me know what team you'd want me to see take control of. Of course, there's going to be the new Stadium Creator feature in that game, in which I do have a next generation console for, so I will have that capability, so keep that in mind when you comment, let me know what team you want me to do. But I'm definitely interested in hearing your feedback. So once again, thank you for the 200 subscribers, and be on the lookout for that future MLB The Show 21 series that I have planned. And now getting into this series, as you can see, the season is completely over. The Angels actually beat the Brewers in a 7-game series in the World Series. So interesting there. Of course, the Angels in real life made a lot of big moves this offseason. Actually, not this offseason. They brought in guys like Rendon. They have guys like Ohtani back. Made their pitching a little better, which it looks like definitely was better. In this, at least, Ohtani actually did not pitch too well, as you can see there. But Patrick Sandoval did well. Looks like he had season-ending surgery. But Griffin Canning, so a decent enough rotation there. And then, again, you can see this offense here. Michael Brantley is a signing they did make this past offseason, of course. And then, they have Ohtani, Brantley, Rendon, Trout, Walsh. They even acquired Jorge Soler here some point during the season where he didn't perform particularly well for them, but still a great hitter to have. And then David Fletcher. This was definitely a good lineup, and they were able to outlast a Brewers team. Take a quick look at this. Making an effort to go around the league a little more in this series, because I kind of want to contextualize the league a little bit more, so some league leaders. And then, of course, here is the Brewers team, which, a good team in their own right. Much better pitching staff. Of course, they have Corbin Burns, who is a pretty big projected breakout candidate for the 2021 season. He had a good year. Brendan Woodruff, of course, he's a very good pitcher. Freddie Peralta, another good pitcher, and some depth pieces here. Looks like the reigning Rookie of the Year, Devin Williams, actually had a big injury here at the end of the year, so he's going to be missing a lot of time. And they do have some injuries here, especially through the pitching staff, as you can see. And yeah, another pretty decently balanced team, a pretty poor-ish kind of bottom of the lineup. Navarez didn't perform that well, and it looks like he also missed a bunch of time. But other than that, lots of good performances from the top of this lineup for them. And without going into that too much, that's all I'm going to pretty much say for the Playoff World Series coverage. Congratulations to the Angels. Hopefully we get there soon. Now kind of moving on to our off-season portion of the video here. Here are the guys who are up for arbitration, and we're definitely going to bring back the vast majority of these guys. Stephen Brault, of course, he's going to be back. Stratton, he's going to be back. I don't really think there's much of an incentive to get rid of a lot of these guys. Actually, no, probably not, because all of these guys are around $1 million. Rodriguez, he will be back as well. Catching tandem's back. Moran, Adam Frazier, he's going to be making $7.5 million next year. So that is going to be the highest salary on the team. I do believe Eric Gonzalez, he is absolutely not coming back, so we're going to go ahead and non-tender him. Then we're also going to be non-tendering Brian Goodwin. He just doesn't really have a place on the team. Again, not very highly rated. And then Anthony Alford, I think I'm going to keep him around for now, just because he can at least be like a fantastic defensive guy, like a guy who you can just plop in center field and he'll just play good defense if we do need that. So I think he's at least maybe worth keeping in the organization. Then we should also have the team option. on Jorge Polanco here. And yeah, we're going to need to decide on that option, and we are definitely going to decline it, so he will be expiring. And then here are our owner goals. Looks like he's actually pretty satisfied with that performance. For the next year, he wants us to not suck him completely. Again, these owner goals don't mean too much to me, but just kind of interesting to look at. We'll just decline MVP. Maybe we can find an old MVP winner to find this. And there's our budget for next year. Again, very small. One guy retires off the team. And then, of course, our new draftee, Kumar Rocker, is here in the number 3 prospect in the league heading towards next season. So hopefully it can be pretty good. And I'm going to go ahead and get into the award, sim ahead into the award winners, that is. And then we'll kind of get into free agency. Moving on to the kind of league awards here. I'm in a different view just because it didn't show up in my mail as it usually does, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure if that's just in addition to this year's game or if I need to somehow update my settings, because that isn't the default setting. But as you can see here, Mike Trout actually doesn't win, and actually Bo Bichette wins the MVP. You can see pretty ridiculous offensive numbers right there. Very, very interesting. I mean, 355, 385. I'd probably guess that his BABIP was pretty high. And I don't want to check all of these guys because I don't want to waste all of your time. And it was 388, so pretty high right there. Definitely not a sustainable thing, most likely. But still, rode that high BABIP all the way to an MVP. And also probably played pretty decent shortstop defense. Then again, you can see Mike Trout, second in AL, and then Anthony Rendon, also third in AL. So 2 Angels again. They were in the They won the World Series, so kind of not surprised to see some guys there. Cody Bellinger, the darling of OOTP, wins the NL MVP. He always dominates in OOTP. If you aren't really familiar with the game, he usually is just an absolute monster. So he wins again. Acuna is second, and Yelich is third. Pretty standard right there. Nothing surprising. No Bo Bichette winning the National League MVP. Bieber repeats as the AL Cy Young, Giolito, and Griffin Canning. So pretty expected up there at the top. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Blake Snell wins the Cy Young for National League, along with Corbin Burns, who is again a dark horse candidate to break out in 2021. If he's not on your radar, he definitely should be, because he is a good pitcher. And then Kershaw there, at the age of 33, getting in there in third. Rookie of the Year voting, bang, you can see right here, Brian Hayes takes it home. NL Rookie of the Year, he is your 2021 award winner. Very cool to see a Pirate get an award. That probably will be our only award, I would imagine. Ryan Vilade, at least I think it's pronounced that way, finished second. And then Mackenzie Gore of the Pirates, or not of the Pirates, of the Padres, finished third. You can see Jared Kelenic, Alex Kirilloff, and Andrew Vaughn of the White Sox are the top 3 there. And then kind of you can see the Platinum Stick winners. I'm not going to go through everyone right there. Juan Zastudo is surprised there. So is Ratty Tellez. It looks like he had a very good season. Not too many surprises there. Trey Turner wins Platinum Stick, which of course Trey Turner, very good shortstop. Kind of a bit of a surprise to see him win Platinum Stick though. Or again, a Silver Slugger. Austin Meadows is there. Michael Brantley. Wow, yeah, lots of Angels representatives. No wonder why they won the World Series this year. And then reliever of the year, lots of Dodgers there. Gratterall is there. Trinan, Josh Hader. That's pretty much expected. Colomé, Raisel Iglesias are both there for that. Gold Glove Award winners here. Brian Hayes. I actually didn't notice that in the last when we took a look at his Rookie of the Year, but he comes away with a Gold Glove and a Rookie of the Year in his rookie season. So not a bad rookie year at all, just adding to it right there. And, of course, the Gold Gloves are the last thing. Oh, and Adam Frazier also got one for second base. I kind of pointed out this season that he was having a very good defensive season at second base, and he definitely did in the eyes of the voters, because he got a Gold Glove at second base. So 2 Pirates actually get awards in this award season. So pretty cool to see that sort of thing there. And then the very next thing that I want to go ahead and do this year with our team, wow, just kind of looking there, this distracted me, but our attendance was just so so inconsistent. That just looks like that's just a crazy like visual representation. But one thing we want to start to do here is overhaul our coaching. Of course, they redid the coaching system, at least for the major leagues, in this game. And as you can see, a lot of our coaches are pretty poor. Our minor leagues actually isn't too bad. There are a lot of guys who probably will keep around just because these guys can tend to increase the ratings. But the major leagues, we have some young players who I want to help develop. And, there are a lot of guys here that are definitely hindering their development. So I want to go ahead and at least start to look at bringing in some new guys, at least at the major league level, possibly at the minor league level, to start overhauling our coaching. Because a lot of these guys aren't going to expire until next year, but I feel like, I at least want to go ahead and start taking a look at this because it is new and I would imagine pretty important to this year's game. So when you go in and look at the new kind of coaching ratings here, it really kind of mimics the trainer ratings, or the trainer ratings looked like with coaching before. You pretty much had your coaching ability, if they have a good relationship with your players, what kind of players they are best with coaching up. If they're, say, ground ball pitching coach, a fly ball pitching coach, power pitching pitching coach. But here, as you can see, there are a lot more ratings that go into it. So, right now we're looking at a pitching coach just because that's the first thing I was kind of looking at, maybe upgrading this season. And then, they have their normal reputation, they have their ability to teach hitters, and then their ability to teach pitchers here. And then they also have their individual ratings that we saw when we were assigning our major league coaches this past season. You're going to have a coach assigned to kind of each facet of the game, whether it be teaching catchers, infield defense, outfield defense, base running, and kind of in-game base coaching there as another one. And then also you have interesting things here, handling player development. You have influencing mechanics, which says talent changes. So I'm going to guess that's probably has to do with consistency with performance. And then handle aging, which is also pretty interesting there, as I guess that's going to help kind of go against the aging curve. So right here, a guy that I immediately see that just stands out to me, or at least a few actually here. We have Kurt Young, who is outstanding at teaching pitching. Kind of fares everything else, but I don't really care about that since he's the pitching coach. I want his primary responsibility to, of course, be coaching up our pitchers. But he also has good development, good mechanics, and a good handle age rating there. And then also I'm eyeing up Dan Warthen here, who's excellent at teaching pitching, average of all of these individual kind of skills, and then again good across the board. Now I actually would go ahead and look at our current staff just to see kind of comparison. We'll look at our current pitching coach, Oscar Marin, and he pretty much is not nearly as good across the board. He's poor at all of those besides development, and then also only decent at teaching pitching. So I think I'm going to go ahead and offer one of those guys a deal. Just kind of look preference here. What kind of okay, so Warthen is a ground baller specialty, so we're going to go ahead and try to sign on him, and we're going to go ahead and submit that offer. And again, this is going to be something that's really important, of course, to even go forth looking at minor league guys, because of course you're going to want guys that are good at developing your players in minor leagues, because that definitely will be able to help a lot of your prospects pan out instead of a lot of them possibly becoming busts and things like that. So we actually, I know, need a hitting coach for our Gulf Coast League team. So we're going to go ahead and kind of search guys that are good at hitting. I also kind of like this because it kind of separates the kind of vague reputation that pretty much everyone's rated before, and it gives you kind of a measurable thing right here. It tells you just how good your coach will be at teaching guys at specific skills, like Larry Bonilla here. Outstanding at teaching hitters. I'm actually pretty good across the board. I'm not great at developing guys, but still right now a very good coach. And so, since we're looking for a guy to teach our minor leaguers here, it'd be good to have a guy who's good at developing guys. So we'll go ahead and go to outstanding in that department. Not a ton of guys, of course, are going to have great ratings for that. We're also going to want a guy who is able to, teach them other skills like, good at teaching them fielding and such like that. And then here we actually find a guy, Scott Livingstone, who's actually interested. So we're going to go ahead and offer him that Gulf Coast job, and bang, he accepts for 2 years. So that's good. We finally could get someone, and it's good that we do that. Then I think the only other thing I'm going to try to do here in this screen is to improve our hitting coach, because he is only fair, and he actually is kind of decent at teaching hitting, but actually no, I think we'll leave him for now. He's only under contract for 1 more year, I believe, and I really don't want to take on the extra money. We are a small market team again, so I can't kind of just be frivolous with just going for it and just absolutely tearing down our coaching, especially when we do need to watch how we spend. Now heading into free agency, it looks like OOTP, at least for the 22 edition of the game, has kind of gone back to more international free agents being better players, as it was in the earlier editions of the game. Because if you remember from last year, there just were pretty much never any international free agents that were really even worth taking a look at. But and at least in this season, it looks like there are a few guys who are actually interesting. Starting with this Shuyan Joe guy, who is a fairly decently rated pitcher. I'm not really fantastic in anything, really, but still a decently rated pitcher, a guy who could contribute to the starting rotation on a fairly good team, being a back end of the rotation guy. And even taking a look here, pretty much none of these players are absolutely completely worthless here. And here we have a guy who I actually am interested in, and will most likely give an offer to. This first baseman who not particularly fantastic in the field, probably serviceable with that infield range though, but pretty decent hitter there, left-handed bat, definitely much better against right-handed pitching. I most likely am going to go ahead and give him an offer, which I'll do right now. Actually, I'm not too concerned with Moran not having a spot to play in, but because of course he's not really that fantastic. Hitting wise, we're pretty much looking for a guy who can play the infield, which will be Chaiju Ko here, at least I think that's pronounced, and a center fielder, and then also a starter for the rotation. Pitching wise, money wise, we have pretty much 22 million flat to sign free agent this year. I most likely won't use all that money. We definitely are going to use a bit here. This guy, again, pretty good rated guy, only wants about 3.6 million. I think we're going to try to see if we could get him on maybe a 3-year deal here, something like that, and then maybe 3.2 mil per year. If we get him something like this and he could produce how his ratings say, I think that would be a very good contract for us, and he is interested. So 3 years, almost 10 mil for him. And then like even here, this infielder who already has been signed by the Angels organization, even like pretty good defensive guy, very good avoid cage rating. So again, I mean, the guys here available are just way better than were last year. So it looks like they may have tweaked that slide. At least I assume it was a default slider of how good these guys are who are available. And then Joe, I don't think I'm going to offer, just because he's kind of just too rich for our blood at this point. The guys we already have under contract. So we're going to be looking elsewhere pitching-wise, and then we'll get into that now. I'm looking at kind of what free agents are available. Taylor Rogers is a guy who's on my radar just because how good of a reliever he is and how little money he's asking for. So he's interesting there. There are kind of some disgusting free agents here, like Jose Iglesias. He's asking for 24 mil after that good season he had with the Angels there, which is just ludicrous. James Paxton is really the guy I'm interested in here. He wants about 6 million. Of course, James Paxton is, has had a pretty decent track record. Is a little bit injury prone. But I think, if we can get a kind of 2-year deal-ish here, and he does perform well and we could sell him off, he also is a popular player, which would be good for Pittsburgh. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and offer him a deal.